Intergenerational wealth transfer is a huge issue now for advisors and clients. I'm joined today by the 43rd Treasurer of the United States, Rosie Rios, to discuss just that. Rosie, welcome.
Thank you.
So Rosie, when you think about the intergenerational wealth transfer that's going to go on, what do you think about?
Yeah. Well, first of all, thanks for having me. And if you're only thinking about it now, you're behind the 8 ball. The train has left the station. I keep saying that, and it's absolutely true, especially when it comes to this topic. So what people need to realize about intergenerational wealth is it's already happening, right? So we're talking about so the boomers, which is my generation, we have the most discretionary income. But this next generation, basically, the millennials, although it's pretty much anyone born in the mid-90s and later, are going to inherit this opportunity to really think about investments in a totally different way. So when you think about those generations, so technically, the millennials or anyone born between 1980 and 1996. But again, look, my son's 26, my daughter's 21. I call them the Robin Hood investor, right? But in reality, these are kids who grew up with the internet, right? So anyone who's grown up with the internet, they see the world as very flat. It's no longer what they're taught at home, what they're taught in the classroom. It's what they see. It's what they've learned, the good, the bad, and the ugly of the internet. They're very tech savvy, they're very confident, but they don't have the experience that perhaps a lot of wealth managers, financial analysts, managers, etc. need to really understand how to think about their investments. So for me, it was very important that I get into their heads. My daughter's 21, my son is 26. When I left the Obama administration in 2016, after serving both terms, I studied these kids, I call them kids, for 2 years at Harvard. And I really wanted to understand kind of the social, political, economic way that they think and how they behave. And for them, it's kind of this one and done world, right? It's set it and forget it. Right. Technology means everything to them. They're very, very confident, they're very progressive, and they're very savvy. But again, they lack a lot of the world experience that my generation still has. So even here now in this economic downturn, this unprecedented economic downturn, this is where, in my opinion, the wealth management industry has a huge opportunity. It's no longer about taking them out to golf and buying them dinner. It's really kind of thinking about how to use technology and information in a totally different way. So if you're not already on their app, on their phone, and that's how they access information, if you're not already there, you're behind. You're behind. So for people to really think about how to use technology, how to kind of think about kind of out of the box approaches to investments, and really it's not just about assessing value, it's creating value. And again, really being able to understand how these kind of exotic investments work, whether it is crypto, whether it is thinking about getting into, whether it's the metaverse, etc., these pre-IPO opportunities. I mean, the time is now. The absolute time is now.
So if the time is now, and they're getting all that information from the app on their phone,
absolutely.
The percentage that I was hearing about, the millennials and the next generation are getting their information from TikTok, it's staggering.
Absolutely
so how
true.
do advisors change the tide on that?
Well, look, I mean, you have this great show here, Matt. Yeah. Are you doing anything on TikTok?
No, I'm not.
Okay.
No, nothing on TikTok.
Come on.
Is that a missed opportunity?
You're behind the 8 ball.
I am.
You're behind the 8 ball.
I mean, I love social media.
No, absolutely. This is the TikTok generation. It's funny, when you look at the stats, Facebook for them is kind of like not their thing.
Right.
Maybe Insta occasionally, but right now it is TikTok. So is it that hard to think about how to communicate with your clients in a simple TikTok message, right? So what I just said at the beginning, can you get that down to 15 seconds? Probably. And can you think about again how these kids, I'm going to keep calling them kids, how these kids think about money? Believe it or not, they're actually very conscientious. So, and they're not really thrilled about credit cards, but they'll use their debit cards, right? They'll use their debit cards, which is really, again, very, very interesting. But when they think about investments, and again, I call them the Robin Hood investor because it's not this kind of disciplined approach, right? In that case, you're betting it on red and hoping it happens. Yeah. Versus, here's what you need to think about, here's how to think about it, here's what your choices are, here's this choice versus that choice, and here's how to manage your risk, right? That's not the way they think, but that is the way they should be thinking, right? How to diversify their options. And believe me, optionality is everything to them. They just don't know what those options are.
Yeah. Well, I think about what you're saying is going to where the puck's headed to, and something you've really done throughout your career.
Absolutely.
And now you're thinking about you're going to be doing a reality show
that's
too.
Right.
Even,
that's right.
Which is
that's
exciting.
Right. That's right. So it's already started. It's called Unicorn Hunters.
Okay.
So unicornhunters.com. It's an investment series like Shark Tank but on steroids.
Okay.
So I'm a co-host along with Steve Wozniak and the co-founder of Apple and Lance Bass from NSYNC and a few others. So Shark Tank, for example, is looking for the next cool backpack. We're looking for the next billion-dollar company, hence the name Unicorn Hunters. So it's these founders who come on the show, they give us their pitch, we peg them with questions. At the end, we decide if we want to invest in them. And then because of crowdfunding from the 2012 Jobs Act, the global audience can decide if they want to invest in them too. So again, it's different. It's still obviously following the letter of the law, but it's exactly kind of personification of what the spirit of the Jobs Act was supposed to be, right? So it does two things. It democratizes access to capital on two levels. One is for Main Street to be able to invest in pre-IPO opportunities where that was really a closed system. And then for the founder, the entrepreneur, who's looking for their own kind of access to capital niche. Again, usually a closed system. So to kind of have these two come together in a very unique and different perspective is something that I think, I worked on the Access to Capital Conference in Treasury in 2011, which led to the task force who would make the recommendations that became the Jobs Act of 2012. So for me, kind of coming full circle 10 years from that time period to now is great and fulfilling, and government works.
Government works, and when you're a great unicorn like you are, you find other great unicorns. Rosie, thank you so much. Great conversation.
Great to be here, Matt. Thank you. Get on TikTok.
I will. Hey, for Edge TV, I'm Matt Ackerman.